if people do have a passion project and want to start it, honestly, it's just doing it.
Just started.
There's so many friends of mine who have talked about like different ideas and they're just like, oh, like what do I do? Like I'm like, just start a page.
Yeah.
Instagram's free.
Yeah.
And we know how to use it to the T. We all have Instagram. Yeah. So to start like a business page too and just to like put yourself out there, yes, it's super uncomfortable, but like you're doing this for you, right? Like you're not doing this for 1,000 followers. Even if you get 50 followers out of whatever business idea you want to put out there, like if it makes you happy, just do it. And like I've seen a lot more of my friends start businesses on Instagram and just kind of putting themselves out there, free marketing, designing their own feeds and stuff. It's fun. It's really, really fun. It's a nice hobby for us to have. It's a nice side project to do it. It's exciting, right? And it's just something I definitely encourage people to do to kind of get out of their comfort zone, but just not be afraid to do it because again, back to this, like no one is going to judge you for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. Nat, welcome to the It's Not That Deep podcast.
Thanks for having me.
It's so awesome to have you here. We finally made it happen. We've been talking about it for a very long time. That's like kind of my signature line now to start every podcast, but it's true.
Yeah.
We've known each other for a little while now, since university, I guess.
Yeah, say 4 years now. 5, 6 years. I don't know.
Was it through Enactus how we met?
Yeah, definitely. Or Rahul.
Yeah, probably.
Deepak, Rahul.
All the like deadbeats in her like, you know,
all of them.
Yeah, being in Telfer and whatnot. Let's talk about our university experience a little bit and like take it back because you're such an interesting person now with so many different things going on. You're a customer success manager. You have your own company, NatCakesMyDay, where you make badass cakes, and you're just up to all kinds of amazing things. But let's take it back from the beginning. Let's talk about like how you got into everything, university, all that.
Oh my gosh, university. I mean, born and raised in Ottawa.
Yep.
So went to high school here, of course. And then after that, it was just going to university. And which one it was, my parents were more like, I mean, if you leave out of town, you just got to pay for it. And I was like, that's not happening.
Staying in Ottawa.
Definitely staying in Ottawa. So just went to University of Ottawa, not really knowing what I wanted to do for school. So I just took the classic commerce that everyone takes when they don't really know what they're doing. But yeah, 4.5 years of school. Nothing that exciting, honestly, except for the fact that we did Enactus together. So that was really fun. But aside from that, working part-time, working full-time, taking time off to pay for school because I put myself through school as well.
Right.
And then, just graduating about 3 years ago now. So.
Well, that's something to be really proud of because I distinctly remember talking to you about that while we were in uni together. Is like you would grind during the summers and work these government jobs and different jobs that maybe you didn't love so much, but they paid and they got you through school and, you know, Yeah,
they paid the bills. I mean, part-time would be like when I'm doing school, it would be a part-time like Adidas, like Banana Republic, like all those jobs at Tanger outlets whenever those started.
Yeah.
And then anytime I just needed like more money, I would kind of just take a semester off and do a contract at the government just for 4 months. And that would be, you know how it is. Great money.
Yeah.
So it was worth taking the time off just for the 4 months just to get some money and then pay through school. OSAP helped a whole lot as well.
Right.
But that definitely gave me a good chunk. And it did put me back. Like I said, I graduated in 4.5 years versus 4. But it was worth it. Exactly. What is the time now, right? It doesn't even matter.
Yeah. Same for me. Like I did 4.5 because I went on that exchange and like I would never exchange that for anything. You know what I'm saying?
No, I'd rather be in like, I mean, I'm out of debt now. I paid off my loans about 2 years ago now officially.
Congrats.
Thanks. So I think the time taking off to like put myself through school definitely helped that. And I know it's not a huge rush to finish school. Like no one ever really, even if you get it done in 4 years or 5, like there is no difference.
It really doesn't matter.
Yeah.
I'm starting to realize all the things that like I thought really mattered even while I was in school.
Yeah.
Such as your GPA.
Yeah.
Such as, you know, like taking great notes. Yeah. Or just like things that I would like weirdly stress about back then.
Yeah.
Now I look back at it, it's like, man, completely insignificant in the real world. I don't think I've ever been asked, what was your GPA going into your 4th year. It's like, no one gives a shit.
Did you even care about your own grades?
I didn't.
I did not either.
Not much. After a certain point, I think it was after 2nd year when I did not get into co-op by like 0.1.
Yeah.
I was like, I'm done. I don't care.
It's kind of stupid.
It's so silly.
I'm not going to lie. I mean, obviously, school is great. I definitely encourage everyone to go to school. But I mean, there's obviously different professions where school actually matters.
Right.
Like for you and I, clearly, both of us having graduated in the same program too, we're not even doing anything with our degrees.
No.
Like, I think university has taught us to be competent and like time management, gets our shit together. But aside from that, I didn't really take much away from school, except for, the friends that I've met, the connections I've made, Enactus, things like that. But otherwise, no. What is GPA? I don't even care.
It doesn't even matter. And that's a very important thing you just said is like all the extracurricular things that you're able to do while you're in university made such a more meaningful impact. Lifelong friends, relationships, so many different things that you've built from not just going to class.
Yeah.
Let's talk about Enactus a little bit and how that shaped you and like what your role was within it.
Yeah. When did I start with Enactus? I think that was about 2nd or 3rd year. I started as, holy crap, what did I start with? I was just a team member on Project Fly. I think you and I were both are.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was working under Deepak. Yeah, funny. Working under Deepak.
And for those who don't know, Deepak, not me, but Deepak Sakri is her boyfriend.
Yes. So I was working under Deep. He was the project manager for Project Fly. So I started out in there kind of getting to know what Enactus was. So we were hosting mostly the workshops for at-risk youth. So we did a lot of that work, which was amazing. And then after that year, I knew I wanted to kind of take a bigger step. So I went to go on to be the VP member development. So that was more the culture piece of the team. So come 2nd year is VP member development. My biggest year probably we had went to South Africa that year too.
Right, for the nationals.
Yeah, to compete for World Cup, which is amazing. I mean, I can't take credit for that because I had just joined, so I didn't really work towards the World Cup. But being there was such a great experience.
I think you were part of it. Like,
I mean, I was
give
just
yourself
there.
a little bit more credit.
Okay. I mean, I was there, so it was a great experience, but that definitely opened my eyes to so many things that we could be doing.
Right.
And that extracurricular was just an amazing opportunity to see the opportunities out there that we could be helping out the world and just learning new things and just taking on more beyond school.
Right. And for those who don't know, let's break down what Enactus really is, because for you and me, it's so familiar and we know it. But like, let's break it down and tell people what it really is. And you might have to now bring back those pitches and all those presentations.
Yeah.
Like, entrepreneurs.
All the student entrepreneurs, business leaders. Yeah. Oh my gosh. I always think about that pitch. What is it? Student organization that focuses on economic, social, and environmental
sustainability and businesses and all those words.
All of those amazing things that we can do to help people. So multiple projects that we host as an Enactus team. So us at University of Ottawa. But there is Enactuses on I think 65 or 70 universities across Canada.
Which is nuts.
Insane, yeah. And then, a bunch of students helping different projects to kind of just make a huge impact on the world.
It's really just like trying to make the world a better place and then using business as like kind of catalyst to do that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what like really stuck with me about Enactus and like being involved in it. And I was nowhere near as involved as you or some of the other people. Yeah. But I was like, I had my toe dipped in, and I got to really meet amazing people and be a part of really amazing projects and stuff, and like getting to see like even like on a micro scale like the impact of like some of these financial workshops and like seeing maybe we didn't have the biggest turnout at all times, but seeing like young at-risk youth legit like ask questions about finance and like hey, how can I invest, or how can I save money, or I want to start a shoe business or this business, and you'd be like, yo, here's how, man. Like, and now you see it come full circle, and some of these people are now like involved in Enactus themselves, and it's pretty awesome. Yeah,
it's really cool to still see Enactus going on as well. I mean, we're completely out of it at this point. But it's still really cool to see our schools doing so well with that. And like, I was at nationals, I think, was it last year, or regionals, where I just stopped by because I was in Vancouver for it. And then just watching a few of the presentations, it was quite a throwback.
Yeah.
It was really, really cool to see them still doing it so well. But yeah, that was year 2 for Enactus, and then year 3 was about my graduating year. So I was already doing the whole part-time school, full-time work kind of thing. So I was kind of out of it a bit more. I just stepped out as the executive coordinator, so more just like logistical planning for the team. So that was kind of like, I wasn't super involved. There's a bigger new team involved as well. So it felt like they were definitely taking over. So it was good to kind of pass the reins down, and it was my time to leave at that point. So.
It's always hard,
It is.
when you know, like, oh man, like I'm having so much fun and
Yeah.
I love this and I'd love to do this, but like I'm transitioning into the adult world, whatever that means.
It's focusing on graduating. It's time to go.
Your career, like, like what people don't realize, like, as amazing an impact as Enactus makes and like how incredible it is, I will never like speak ill against it.
Yeah.
You're not making any money, and like
No.
it doesn't pay your bills, and like for a lot of people it's not a reality, and so a lot of people will just focus only on school or go all in on extracurriculars, be part of like 5 clubs and neglect school or only work. And like I think what another thing that taught me a lot is time management and just being able to, okay, like I'm gonna do like 3-4 hours of this, and then I got to do a little bit of this, and then but it's hard, man. It's hard to balance all those things.
It is. I mean, with Enactus, I think we were so passionate about it, so it felt like nothing. Just like a new side hustle now, like your podcast, My Cakes. It's easy to consider this stuff not work. Like I remember doing classes for the day and then being on Enactus stuff all night, and it was just nothing to me. Yeah. Because we gave a shit, like we really, really cared about it. So it made such a difference for us. So.
It was the classes that felt like the work.
Oh my
and like
God,
all the exams and all this. I look back at it now like it's almost a blur, all those assignments, all that stress, all that BS.
Yeah.
But like you said, it did teach us how to become competent and how to like, kind of respect deadlines and stuff. But I don't know, man. Did I need 4 years of that? 4.5 years of that? I don't know.
I know.
But
I'm glad we're out of there.
Yeah, I'm still very grateful. It's hindsight's 2020, right?
Yeah.
Let's talk about then after graduating. What was your next move? Where was your headspace at? How like what are you thinking? Like what's career for you, and what are you gonna do? Because people don't know that you made the move to Vancouver from Ottawa, which is not easy. Not easy to do, this move to the other side of the country.
Yeah, I mean, don't forget before that I was actually in Toronto.
Yeah, you were in Toronto.
Right. So last semester of university, I wasn't really sure what to do. I definitely considered myself a homebody type. I was like, at like 25, I want to have kids. I want to be married. And I told Deep this when we started dating at like 20, and he's like, what? I was like, what do you mean? Like, and he's like, no. I was like, whatever, you'll see.
You'll see.
Right?
He'll come around.
And then a few years of dating, and we're like, okay, he opened kind of my eyes to like what's beyond Ottawa. And then from there, he started kind of looking at Toronto jobs, and I was like, oh, like maybe I should look. Like every time I visit Toronto, I am just inspired by Toronto. I feel different when I'm in Toronto. So for the last semester of school, I was like, you know what, I'm moving to Toronto. So it's just job after job application, and it's always software tech companies. I knew I was very interested in that. I know it's very fast moving. I wanted to work in an area where it's like a startup, small company, just making a big impact, just like my new kind of Enactus. So I applied to many jobs, lots of interviews, eventually landed one at EventMobi. So it's an event app company. And I ended up moving to Toronto right after graduation. So graduated April, moved over there in May. And it was actually crazy because I had a government job full-time at the time as well. And government pays well. I was there working, happily making good money, living at home. Yeah. And I was like, I can't do this anymore. Like, I was very much too comfortable. And for me and my government job, obviously there's millions of government jobs, but mine particularly was very repetitive. And I just wasn't challenged. I wasn't learning anything. So I was like, I can't even do this, even if it is paying me big bucks. Right. And like explaining to my parents, like, hey, I just got this job in Toronto that pays $10K less than what I'm currently making. And to pay Toronto rent. Yeah. They're like, cost of living. You're literally insane. But to me, I was like, this is so worth it to me. Like,
it felt right in your heart.
100%. Like I just needed new inspiration. I needed a new environment, whatever it was. So I automatically took that job. It was just like a support specialist job just to start off. And I just made the move in literally 2 weeks. And I actually found out I got the job when I was in Vancouver for Enactus Nationals.
Oh, that's crazy.
Yeah, so super, super crazy. And it was exciting because I was like, oh, Deep's going to Toronto too. It was perfect.
Yeah.
But then he actually got poached to go to Vancouver.
No way.
So that was the
That's how it went
time.
down.
Yeah, so I was in Vancouver when he got his offer. So he's like, telling me like, is Vancouver awesome? I was like, yes, it's so awesome. You need to come here. And I was so sad because I was ready to go to Toronto with him, right?
Yeah,
but obviously I'm not going to be selfish. Like whatever job I actually thought was best, which I definitely thought that Vancouver was for, I was like, yeah, you need to take it. The city's beautiful. We'll be okay.
Yeah.
Like we'll do the distance. It's not a big deal. So that's when right at graduation, he had moved to Vancouver. And then I went to Toronto for about 1.5 years at that point.
So you guys did 1.5 years doing the long distance thing.
Yeah.
And because that's tough, man. That's got to be tough.
Yeah. I mean, I've done long distance before.
So it's not like Ottawa to Toronto where you can at least drive. Like it's
4 hours.
It's a flight, man. That's a 5-hour flight.
Yep. Yeah. And I did long distance before. In my last relationship, it didn't work, and that was only in Ottawa to London, like Ontario. Mm-hmm. So for like Toronto to BC, I was like, holy crap, this is so tough.
Different time zone, everything.
Yeah, time zone really fucks with you. But obviously, me and Deep's relationship, like, I'm very confident in it. So I was like, this is obviously going to work.
Yeah.
But it was really nice for us to kind of both start careers right after graduation and really focus on that while still having each other. Because I think, too, like, obviously relationships are huge, but at the same time, like, if you can't figure out yourself, like, how are you going to be with someone?
Exactly.
So it was really nice for us to focus both on our jobs and also just have each other as support, even if it was long distance. But of course, I am out in Vancouver now. So come 1.5 years later, we decided, you know what, like, what do we think? We've done long distance for a long time now. We visited every month or two, which was a lot of money, a lot of time. Mm-hmm. It's tough. So we're like, hey, are you coming to Toronto or am I going to Vancouver? And he's like, well, I'm not ready to leave yet. And I was like, all right, I could go to Vancouver. Why not? And like, to me, that's huge because even moving to Toronto was, remember, I'm a homebody. Okay. Yeah. So to move to Toronto already was huge, but then moving across the country is like insane. So my parents were probably going to flip. Like, no way, you're going
Toronto,
across.
It was high cost of living.
Yeah.
Like Vancouver's like one of the most high cost of living in North America.
Oh, yeah, I know. I mean, for me, it was cheaper, though, because I was splitting a 2-bed, 2-bath in Toronto. But in Vancouver, I'm doing a 1-bedroom, so I actually am saving money. But yeah, that was the Vancouver move about just over 1 year now.
Nice.
So.
And I'd say it worked out.
Yeah, I don't regret anything. Vancouver is the best.
Yeah.
I wish I could stay in Vancouver forever. I wish I could move everyone here to Vancouver and Toronto to Vancouver.
That's that's probably the toughest part.
It is.
Probably. Yeah. I mean, I would say because I was lucky enough to be hosted by you guys earlier last year in Vancouver, and I got to see your place, which, by the way, like for people listening, like they're doing it right. They're like right downtown, beautiful view, right beside the, what's that, Rogers Center?
Rogers Arena, yeah.
Rogers Arena. I'm like, bro, this is just downtown, but then with the view of the mountains in the most badass building. But
amazing.
Going back to like my point, like, it must have been a really, really big decision for you to have been like, okay, got this job in Toronto, and I'm assuming, like knowing you were trying to make strides in that, and then to pull that plug and then go work in Vancouver. Were you actively looking for jobs in Vancouver that were kind of similar? Like, what was like the career kind of transition? Was it a different job? Still in tech? Like,
still in tech. I still very much enjoy software companies, tech companies. So like I said with EventMobi, I started as a support specialist. So really, really basic job, frontline support. If anyone needed questions about their app, I was there just to kind of help them out with it.
Yeah.
Come 8 months later, I actually jumped to a native app role. So it was more focused on building out the apps for Apple and Android. So I took care mostly of that, just managing, more project management style job. And I did that for the last about 8 months of that role as well. And then that was when we kind of started talking about the move. And by then I was kind of like exhausted from the job, and I was like, I think I could do something else. What's my next step here? And I knew kind of the next step I wanted to go in, whether it was, I don't know, marketing, UX, product, or customer success. And I really enjoy customer success because it's similar to support where you get to speak to clients and you really get that one-on-one time with them. But as a CSM, it's nice to build relationships and actually have that client yours.
Right.
So yeah, support again. You're
It's
just
a
like
post-sales
touching.
role. Like you're not
Exactly.
actually trying to get customers. They're
No.
already your customers,
Yeah.
and you're maintaining that relationship.
Exactly.
Anything they need,
Yeah.
you're going in and helping them
Yeah.
and making sure that, I mean, not to sound like cynical about it, but that they continue doing
Yeah.
business with you.
Exactly.
Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
So, I mean, definitely not a sales girl, can't do that. But yeah, once it's the post sale part. So the second that we capture that client, now it's mostly about like, hey, we get them onboarded, we get them set up, we get them trained. And then from there, it's taking care of them, nurturing, making sure the relationship's really good, really strong, and just making sure that they do want to renew with the product for every single year going forward.
Yeah.
And I really enjoy that. I love working with people. I love building relationships. I'm a good people person in that way. So I
agree.
knew. So CSM was definitely the role I was looking for. So this is where I actually came across Thought Farmer, and it was a CS coordinator role. So a little step down from that is just more coordinator stuff versus like really having my own clients.
Right.
But once I jumped to there, I worked after about like I think 4 or 5 months, I jumped to a CSM role.
Right.
And then we took a portfolio of about 100 accounts each, me and another CSM.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's a decent ratio because
Yeah.
you're not like overburdened. It's not like you have to deal with like 500-600
No,
people.
yeah,
It's
yeah.
like you can actually 100's manageable. It's still a
Yeah.
lot. Don't get me
Yeah.
wrong. That's
No,
still a lot to
totally.
manage, but
Yeah.
like at least you can have a bit more of a personal.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
And I mean, you don't talk to every single one. There's ones that have been there for like 10 years and they don't really need as much nurturing, whereas new ones are like, hey, what do? I need your help. And like people who are checking in all the time, but it's definitely manageable. But yeah, CSM role is definitely where I see myself in terms of relationship building and nurturing is what I focus on. So
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And like I know it's kind of a like big question and you
Yeah.
might not even have an answer
Yeah.
for it, but do you think that this is something you can see yourself long term building upon, or would you kind of want to go develop the breadth of it, like go different, like let me hop,
Yeah.
like let me try this out, but within the same vein?
Yeah. I always think about this too, because again, being in business and going to support, now going to a CSM role, I'm like, what do I even want to do with my career? I have no idea. And I feel like next steps is always just like after a CSM role, it's like a director of CSM. And it's like, do I want to take that route? And like being in my job right now, I work very closely with UX designers. And I see a lot of interest in that. We work closely with them when our clients sign with professional services, is what we call it. So they pretty much allow us to work closely with them, provide workshops, go to their offices, and help them set up their intranet, which is what we sell at Thought Farmer. And working with UX designer very closely, it's really cool to see the processes that they do, just seeing the user experience of how we set up Thought Farmer. And I think that's interested me a lot. So possibly that route, but I think for now we'll stick to CSM.
Yeah.
Keep growing on that, as I've only done that for about 8 months now since I've been in the role. So still lots to learn, lots to grasp, lots of projects to take on as we go, which is a really nice role to have on the job. But yeah, still very up in the air.
But that's still awesome that you've
Yeah.
taken that step and that you even have that self-awareness to know like,
Yeah.
hey, like this is kind of like I liked software, and then
Yeah.
you know what really stuck out from everything you just told me is that you knew that you did what you did not like. And it
Yeah.
was like, I don't want the big, bulky organization and repetitive work.
Yeah.
So you went and kind of were like, okay, well, what's the opposite of that?
Yeah.
I like working in a small, like,
Yeah.
team and like working with people and this. So that's like,
Yeah.
that's really important for like anyone listening, because like we're all kind of just like in our 20s or lost.
Yeah.
No one really has it completely figured out. You and me included, we're all just like kind of just figuring it out as we go, right?
Yep.
But for a lot of people who are like out there and are lost and just like, I don't know, I think like a good place to start is like, what do I not like?
Yeah.
What does not feel good? Because if you don't like it now, chances are you're not going to like a 45-year career of that.
Yeah, no,
So-
it's true. And I think too, like, we can't be afraid to jump into jobs because you know how easy it is to change out of a job.
Yeah.
Like, yes, okay, moving across Vancouver, like the country is crazy to start a new job. What if I don't like it? Okay, well, that sucks. Whatever. I'll just go find a new one.
Yeah.
There's so many jobs out there where we need to try. And it's like, until we actually try it, we're never going to know what we like and don't like. So,
taste a bunch of things,
Fine. We're
try
so
it out.
young.
100%.
Who cares? Even if I'm 45 and I want to do a career change, I'm going to do it. Like, I'm going to be happy.
Yeah.
If I hate my job, I'm not sticking to it. Like, that's what it is. Like, quality of life is everything. So.
And I'd say in Vancouver, quality of life is pretty badass. I loved it. I was only there
Yeah.
for like, what was it, 4 or 5 days?
4 days.
And I didn't get to see you as much because you were also gone on a trip at that time.
Yeah. I'll have to take you to Tofino next time.
It seems badass. It seems so nice.
Surfing, yeah.
Just everything about Vancouver
I
is just
know.
absolutely like what I want out of Canada. You know, like there's no winter really.
Yeah.
You guys get like snow twice a year, something like that.
Yeah.
Which, by the way, like that would be enough.
I know.
That right there is enough. But then you add to the fact that it's this beautiful, clean, like urban metropolis with like everything except Uber, which really pissed me off. That was one thing that just like really pissed me off about Vancouver. Why is there no ride sharing? I have no idea. That was like a legit pain point. I was like, I have to call a taxi? Like what is this? Like 1975?
They say Lyft is coming. They've said it for so long. They said September. We keep hearing, I see signs everywhere saying Lyft, Lyft, Lyft. I'm like, okay, my app's ready. Let's go. But like never. Like the taxis there kill me. And I know so like the regulations there are super like strict. So I get it, fine. But like I didn't realize how bad it was until there was one night Deep and I went to a friend's house, like out in Metro Town. And it was probably midnight. We're like, yeah, we'll just catch a cab home. He's like, okay, cool, no problem. Usually we get a ride. And we're like, I'll just take a cab. It's fine. And we're like on this really busy ass road. And I kid you not, in like 20 minutes, 5 cab drivers drove by and did not stop.
They don't stop.
And their light was on. I'm like,
they'll
bitch,
even look
hello.
you in the eye, like
literally just drive by, like, don't want to pick you up. So they just drive by. And I'm like, okay, I'm going to call one. I'm on the phone on hold for 20 minutes.
That's the biggest part that sucks.
Yeah. I call another one, still on hold. And eventually we waited like 30 minutes and we're like, holy crap, we're taking a freaking bus. So I had to walk 20 minutes to a bus, take the bus to the SkyTrain, and then SkyTrain home. And I was like, I've never felt so helpless in my life. Like, it was crazy. And that's how much we rely on technology, too.
Right.
Because I was like, I literally felt stuck. It was horrible.
It sucks because, I mean, okay, it'd be one thing taking a taxi. That's fine.
That's fine.
Like, it's going to get me to where I have to be.
Exactly.
But I have to call and be on hold and wait and deal with attitude. First of all, don't you find the people on the line are just shitty?
Horrible.
They're just shitty. Like, I mean, I get it. It's not a great job. You just got to deal with these people all the time. But, like...
just send me a cab.
It's like, yeah, so do you know how long it's going to be? I don't know. Could be like half an hour. Like, okay, thanks. We'll just stand outside here, I guess, and wait for it. And then every cab that just drives by you. Anyways, I don't want to like keep harping on this issue because you will get Uber and Lyft. But for a city that's set up the way Vancouver is, where it's just so vast and like spread out, and there's all these cities around it, and it's just like it would just make sense, and I feel like it would humble the cab drivers too a bit. Like they would like, yo, you need a ride? Like they'd come and like there wouldn't be 5 guys driving past you at midnight. Anyways,
no, it's horrible.
But all that aside, Vancouver, I absolutely loved it. Like just the balance of nature and city and the cleanliness, and I felt like everyone's so active.
Yep.
And what was it, Stanley Park?
Yeah, biking.
Like we went biking, and I just had such an incredible time, just like being out in nature and just like breathing the fresh air. And like you look around, there's mountains and people kayaking, and like what is going on? Why is everyone so blissful and like happy here?
Everyone's very happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a nice balance between Ottawa and Toronto, I would say. Like Toronto's very homey and quiet. Toronto's very hustle, like go, go, go. Love both, but I love an in-between. Yeah. Because Toronto sometimes gets really overwhelming.
It can be a lot. It can be like anxiety-inducing almost. Yeah. That city, like, you were touching on this before when you were like, Toronto, gives you this fire, this drive, right? And I feel the same thing. Whenever I go there, I'm like, yo, Toronto means I gotta level up. Yeah. I gotta be like up here, like balling, doing all these things. You gotta
dress better, you gotta look better, you gotta do everything.
You gotta make more money, you gotta do these. Like you just, hustle's the word. You just gotta hustle more. When you go to Toronto and like you all these nice restaurants and clubs and all this, all the glitz and glamour of a big city. But like it's just like your anxiety goes through the roof just driving from one end to the other. It's like I almost died 7 times on the highway,
Yeah.
and
Yeah.
like there's all this pollution everywhere, and everyone just seems to
Yeah.
be like in a bit more of a rush. People will
Yeah.
bump into you. Like it's just a bit more just like, oh, like almost a New York City vibe.
It is. It's like a
I
mini
did
New York,
I
I'd
did
say.
not feel that in Vancouver once. It just
No.
felt like almost like a Cali vibe. It
Yeah.
was like Cali but a little more chilly. Like
Yeah. Toronto's very like, especially at a restaurant, you sit down and they're like, okay, are you done eating yet? You need to leave so
yeah.
people can get in.
Yes.
Right? Whereas
Or
Vancouver's like, oh, take your time. You want a coffee? Like, it's very like welcoming and relaxing.
yeah. And that
Yeah.
was another thing, like some of the restaurants you guys took us to is
Yeah.
like, what was it that Asian restaurant we went to?
Phnom Penh.
Oh my God, that was
Deep's
dank.
going there tonight. I'm really upset.
So dank. And you'd
I
like to
know.
take everyone there when you go there, right?
Everyone. Oh my gosh. I miss that place. It's
What
been
was
like
it? What
3
was
weeks.
the beef with the
The butter beef,
the butter beef?
the garlic chicken
Oh
wings.
my God, the garlic chicken wings, everything on that menu just looked so dank. It was so hard to
Amazing.
order, but
Yeah.
you guys were just like, get this.
Yeah.
It's
Just
like,
sit, let us
okay.
do it. You'll enjoy it. It's the best.
It's
Yeah.
like your go-to.
No. Seriously,
but
I said
the sushi, like
Yep.
everything in
Oh, the
Vancouver is just so good.
cheap and delicious.
My brother would love it. Like
Yeah.
it's like he's here right now, and like I know he'd go crazy if if he tried some of the sushi there. It's just this level of freshness you'll never get in Ottawa,
Never.
Ontario.
I can't say bye. It's rough. Like I wanted to order sushi today, and I was like, I can't even look at these prices, knowing how shitty this is gonna be.
Yeah, it's not even
Couldn't
gonna
do
be
it.
good. Yeah,
No, all you can eat is horrible.
no.
I
Yeah,
used to
can't
love
do
it so much.
Well, that's when
And now
you were
Vancouver,
uncultured, you
yeah.
know.
Now Vancouver spoiled me, so I can't even have sushi in Toronto anymore. Like poke bowls in Toronto also suck.
Yeah.
It's horrible. I'm spoiled. So I don't know how I'm gonna move back, honestly. But
Well, talking about food a
Yeah.
bit, you know a thing or two about baking. So let's talk about Nat Cakes and how you got into it. What was the first inspiration to start with this?
this is always so weird to talk about because I was never a huge baker when I was younger. Nothing even like, oh, I've always been baking since I was like 2 years old. My
Yeah,
mom was a
that's
baker.
the story people want to hear.
Yeah, no, it's not the story. I mean, I was just probably on Instagram one time and you scroll through and you come across a really cool cake video. And I don't know if people see cake videos on their food, but I saw it there. And one girl specifically I came across was this channel, YouTube channel, How to Cake It. And this girl, Yolanda Gant, based out of Toronto, does these extremely crazy fondant cakes. All the characters, like giant food, like giant everything, mega cakes. And I was like addicted to watching these. And for years, I would watch like, she has a video every Tuesday morning. And I was like, every single morning, I watched that video because it was so fun and satisfying to watch. She's a perfectionist. And then after seeing so many, I was like, I just need to try this, I think. And like 2 years ago now, Deep got me her cake book. And from there, I would just sit there and read it. Like, who reads a freaking cake book? I don't know. I would just read that thing for fun. And then I think it was around Toronto where I was like, you know, maybe I can start baking. Of course, I can't do that at home. I feel like in my parents' house, I just didn't want to overcrowd with all of my baking shit. So come Toronto time, I was living there for about a year at that point. I always showed interest. I had watched them with my roommate all the time. And I was like, you know, I really want to start baking, but I'm going to move soon. So do I just wait? Do I wait? Okay, I'm going to wait. Come 6 months later, finally moved to Vancouver. But we're living with Deep and his brother at the time. So again, not really a good time to start. Then finally, we moved into our apartment now, February last year. So come March when we settled down, I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna make one. Like I've seen so many videos. I know what I'm doing. I need some basic pans and then the basic ingredients and I can just do it. I have her cake book. I'm good. And I didn't want to tell too many people. I was like, oh, what if this is a fuck up? I don't know. But we actually had a work rebrand launch party in April. So I was like, you know what? I'm just going to make a cake for this party. I'll see how it goes. I'm not going to tell people in case it's a disaster. But if it works out, I'll bring it to the party and see what happens. And once I made that cake, it was my first time using fondant as well. And for those who don't know what fondant is, it's very much like Play-Doh. It's that stuff that just sits on top of a cake. It's edible. It's very sugary. I wouldn't eat it. But people eat it. It's edible. But yeah, I designed that cake and I just brought it to the party and it was just a hit from there. And since then, I was like, you know what? I'm just going to start an Instagram and just post pictures. And it just went up from there. I don't know. It's just Instagram, free sign up. You know, created a page and then it's become what it is today.
So there's a lot to unpack there.
Yeah.
you don't even like cake yourself.
No, I'm not a huge sweet tooth, honestly.
This is incredible.
I know, it's super weird. I just think it's fun to do. It's fun to make.
So
and
it's
it's
a
fun to
process
decorate.
that you fell in love with more. It was like, was this, but so this all started from looking at an Instagram thing.
Literally.
And was it one of those really quick, like where people like, oh, sorry, where people like throw together all the ingredients and stuff? Or was it like the professional, like this is a done, finished cake product?
It was like stacking cake layers and frosting it
okay, yeah,
and like
so
putting stuff on top.
So that's what got you.
Yeah.
It was like,
Have you've watched cake videos?
I've seen them. Yeah, I've seen them.
They're satisfying.
They are. They're really
They're
cool to watch.
satisfying.
Like, I'm a big cheesecake guy,
Yeah.
right? So I'm a little more like niche cake, like
Yeah.
there's certain type of cake that like I obsess with.
Yeah.
But I just always found it cool to see the different types, but I never actually thought about making it. I'm like, I'm gonna buy that.
Yeah, yeah.
I'd be your number one like customer, if you were here.
Yeah.
So, but that's very interesting.
Yeah.
That it started off from that like idea, and you're like,
watching
let
it.
me just scratch this itch. Let me just see like how can I make this and do it, and then you got the opportunity to finally do this, and then what really stuck from what you said about all that is like kind of like the butterflies you got from like, is anyone even gonna like this? Is this cringe? Is this weird? Like that's like such a powerful thing right there, because that means you're stepping out of your comfort zone.
Exactly.
You're doing something that like people don't know you for yet.
Yeah.
And then I remember that first post.
Yeah.
And like, people were sharing it on their feed because, like friends want to support.
Yeah.
And then I was like, oh shit, she's making cakes now.
Yeah.
And then next thing you know, I think it was like I think I saw like an Enactus cake.
Yep.
I saw a Raptors cake. I saw a Nike like shoe. Like I want to pull it up. Like this is so. It's so awesome. Like your feed. I mean, I think that's a big part of it as well. Is like it's not just the amazing cakes that you're baking. Definitely you're doing that, but the marketing, you got that down, man. This is gonna that's why I'm so excited about it, because like I'm actually not a big sweet tooth guy.
Yeah.
Other than the whole cheesecakes, like that's my weird like kryptonite. Like that's the only sweet I really like. I don't have I don't really buy candy. I don't like cake. I don't like frosting. I'm not a big sugar guy.
Yeah.
But I see these. So is it NatCakesMyDay?
My
Day. First of all, great name. NatCakesMyDay.
It was so random.
Anyone listening to this right now, pause this podcast, go to your Instagram and search NatCakesMyDay and just scroll through this feed. Like this is I'm gonna try to see if the camera can get this. I don't know.
Oh my god, which one is it?
I want to pull the Nike. Hold up. Like these cakes.
Oh yes. The Nike shoe is my favorite.
This Nike shoe is so I don't know if like we could in post like incredible. Like the detail. I thought this was a shoe when I was scrolling through my feed. I thought it was a shoe page until I'm like, no, she did not. And it goes on, like there's this Starbucks, we could sit here and just go through her feed, but like I urge anybody to go check it out. But getting back to it, it's like I really love the detail and like how much love you put into each cake.
Yeah.
Like it's incredible. And so
thank you.
How long does it take to make an average cake?
Holy crap. It varies. I mean, something like that, that takes like 8 hours, 10 hours.
Start to finish.
I mean, you think about the whole cake process, and not even just like the baking and the decorating. It's like when someone asks me for a cake, I got to work out a quote. I got to do research. It takes time. I have to get ingredients. If
you
I don't
gotta
have
also
stuff at
really
home.
know what they want.
Exactly. It takes a lot of time.
You can't just guess.
No, 100%.
Like, done. And it's like,
no. That's terrifying. That's my worst nightmare.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is why you have to be super thorough, just making sure it's what they want, writing up contracts, making sure they do deposits, like all that kind of paperwork just to make sure.
Right.
And just, getting the ingredients. Like living downtown, you got to walk to grocery stores. I don't have a car just to drive around to get stuff. And if I do need to drive, that takes my time, that takes gas, whatever it may be. Yeah. So things like that take all the time. And then baking, the cleaning, the prepping, everything takes a long time. So it takes probably like 6 to 10 hours average for a cake. For something like that, it does take longer because of all the details.
Right.
But as tedious as it is, like to me, it's so much fun. And it's not as work to me because I love crafty. Like, I love being crafty. I'm a huge DIYer. So I think that's why I love doing this stuff and why it fascinates me so much. But yeah, for me, it's like, it's therapeutic.
Right.
It's soothing. It's satisfying to me. Makes me calm. So it is a really cool project for me to take on. But yeah, crazy ones like that, man, I don't even know. I don't even know.
I love it.
It was so cute.
So it started off, kind of, just one-offs here and there, and then so when you decided to actually make a business out of this, when this was a conscious decision, when you're like, okay, you know what, like, people are asking me to bake cakes.
Yeah.
Just like, so I guess I should do this now.
Yeah.
How do you manage like incoming requests and like, hey, Nat, I need you to make me a wedding cake like tomorrow? Like, okay, well, no, I can't. But then, how do you manage like all the incoming requests and stuff?
Oh my gosh, that was me rolling my eyes. Firstly, don't ever ask me to make a cake a day before, because it's not possible. In terms of even like making it a business, I mean, I first just got the name, started the Instagram, and I just started posting the first few cakes. And from there, it was like, hey, you can make cakes like this. Like, my friend's birthday's coming up. Let's do this. And I was like, okay, sure, yeah, send me what you want, and I kind of just go with it. And that's where, it started to become a business. I didn't plan it to be. I just wanted to post my ideas, just not on my personal feed.
Right.
I just wanted to post cool photos on another feed of my own. And then from there, I just started getting the requests. And yeah, you're right. That's where I'd get some quotes and I'm like, or requests, and I'm like, okay, yeah, if this is in like a week, I can manage it. I still work full time, so let's keep that in mind. But no, I mean, I know there's certain days that are required to make it. As long as I can book people in time slots, get deposits, I can secure those, and then I can go from there. But unless I get those, I'm not going to secure anything because it's going to be a waste of my time.
Right.
But it has taken me a lot of practice. Even now, it's been about 8-9 months. For me to really get the hang of even pricing or like managing my time properly.
Right, because how do you even really know at first?
Exactly.
Like, are you basing it off some other cake companies? Are you like researching online? Like, well, it takes me about 5-6 hours to do this type of cake versus this would take me more. So then how do I? And then being upfront with the customer, like, look, like, you need this and this. I need this much for it.
Yeah. I mean, people are pretty understanding with that as well, because when it comes to custom cakes, it's a custom cake.
Yeah.
Like, I mean, feel free to go to Sobeys and get a $30 cake by all means. That's totally fine. But I mean, if you're getting something custom that you want for your loved one, that's a completely different story. In terms of pricing, I did tons of research, looked at other bakers on Instagram as well. There's a huge cake community, so I've met tons of people. And a lot of them pretty much go based on your cost of ingredients, which usually isn't that much, but then you think about the time it takes, multiply that by minimum wage at least, and then you add the cost of that, give yourself a little bit of profit. So think about that, 8 to 10 hours minimum wage plus cost. You're looking at like 100, 200, sometimes 3.
Yeah.
So it depends on how much detail of the work it goes into. But starting out, I had no clue. I kid you not, my Raptors cake, the first one was $40. Yeah, I was like, I don't know, here's $40. You're my friend. It's fine.
Yeah.
And now I look back and I'm like, I'm charging cakes for $300.
Yeah.
Like, it has to be worth my time. And if it's too much for you, that's totally okay. It's just I can't lower my cost because it's still going to take me this much time.
And the opportunity cost of what you
100%.
could be doing with that time. And I hate to be such a business student about it, but
it's true.
It's like, you are working a full-time job, and I don't think that's a detail to be glossed over, because a full-time job is a full-time job.
Yeah.
All the time outside of that should, in theory, be for you, your family, things, life.
Yeah, life, right?
So that also has to be put on hold for you to do this side hobby, this passion of yours.
Yeah.
But you also got to get something for it, because not only are you having it's fun for you and it's therapy and this and that. Yeah. Are you doing it only weekends, or is this leaking your evenings as well? Or do you have to sometimes before work do a couple things like how all consuming is this?
I mean, usually cakes are due like Saturdays, because it's like, oh, my birthday party Saturday night. You usually do Saturday day. A lot of coworkers have asked for orders, so they usually take it on Friday. Okay. So if it's like I bring it to work on Friday, that means I have to do it Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So that's like evenings taking my time. So I'm like, okay, Tuesday night, I'll bake my cakes, let them cool. Next day, I decorate. Next day, I fix it up, tidy it up, finishing touches.
Love it.
So times like that, it's pretty easy to organize. Other times, I mean, I've had multiple orders in a week, and it's like I'm staying up till 2 in the morning, and it just is what it is.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's a lot. Other times I'm like, it's still fun, so it's okay. If I do that too much, that's where it gets overwhelming. I've had a lot of breakdowns. Deep holds me while I cry a lot, but end of the day, it's still worth it. I mean, the results are always amazing. It's just getting through it gets tough sometimes. But
It must be like, I'm just trying to think, because people who don't know you, right, they don't know how like multidimensional and how much of an empathetic person you are. You're a host. You love having people around, and like you're a very family person. You are a homebody, so at least this kind of works out for you in that aspect. But you do like to travel. You like to do things. But then you got these cake orders, and sometimes you might even feel like, man, I've backed myself into a bit of a corner. And I feel like that sometimes with the podcast.
Yeah.
Because, and I know it's nowhere near the same amount of like time consuming, but like it takes a lot sometimes of your free time that you would otherwise be doing other things, where you gotta make sacrifices. So what have been some of like the biggest challenges that you've had to deal with in terms of like making it work with your life?
I mean, the thing about this too, I mean, like, it gets tough, but other times too, like you said, empathetic. I'm a huge people pleaser. I want to say yes as much as I can, but I think a big thing I'm trying this year too is just learning to say no.
It's important.
Especially in my first year, anytime I got any request, I was like, yes, I need to do this. I want to build my portfolio. I want to get more customers. I want them to tell their friends. It was just like really trying to grow this. But at the same time, whenever I hit like tight corners, I'd be like, I should say no. Like there's times I've gotten many requests this month, even and not being home. I knew I'm going to be home for about a month until we head over to Cambodia. And I'm like, do I want to book that many orders while I have some downtime? And easily I'm just like, no, it's okay. Like I need to slow down. And that's like a huge challenge for me because I want to take on more and I want to commit to them. But at the same time, now I'm very okay to say, no, I can't do this. And it's just, I have many other bakers in Vancouver that I've met that I can refer people to. And it's not even a competition thing when it comes to baking. Meeting a lot of people in the cake community, everyone is so empowering and uplifting of each other. So it's very, so it's very easy to be like, yeah, this girl is just as great.
Right.
She's also amazing. Like, feel free to go reach out to her. And I have no issue saying no. Because I need to also work on my own self-care and like figure out myself and just make sure I'm in a good headspace, because otherwise I'm going to half-ass this cake, and why would I do that?
Yeah. And then that kind of defeats the whole purpose.
100%. I don't want to give a shitty product.
Yeah.
But if I do commit something, I 100% will give everything to it. But I'm not going to overcommit myself. And I know I need to take it easy, especially being overwhelmed a lot this Christmas. I was like, I've been so go, go, go with the travel, work, holidays. I'm like, when I come back, I definitely don't want to take on too much. And it's okay. Sometimes people, all of us need a break. You work, you do podcasts. It's okay to say no sometimes. It's not a big deal. Yeah. We all have lives.
Exactly. That's very important. So, but with that being said, with something that has now gone from hobby to now business, and correct me if I'm wrong, this isn't really something you can scale by yourself.
Yeah.
So how have you thought about tackling kind of, I can only take so many orders and I'm having fun with it at this level, but there is like, I can't go to the next level without dipping into either my job, my personal life, or I don't know. This is just me thinking off the top of my head, but getting sub bakers, like getting people to take care of some of the things that maybe don't bring you as much joy from the baking process. I don't know, mixing batter. I don't know. I don't know anything about cakes. Keep that in mind. But like, so how have you like thought about strategy wise moving forward, how you're gonna deal with those things?
Yeah, I mean, still learning a lot. Cakes are definitely a big thing that I've done, but obviously, here we go. I started macarons. So come September, I was like, please eat one while we chat.
I'm actually good right now, but I will have one later.
All the flavors on the back too. Give it a shot. Yeah, this is awesome. But yeah, come September, I started getting interested in macarons. I've seen them everywhere, and I was like, these things are like so expensive. And I'm like, why are they so expensive? And I've seen a few videos, and I was like, this is pretty straightforward. I'm just going to give it a shot. Made a few, practiced a bunch, and then this actually became another source of revenue for me. So this is much easier because it's great money because it's still like good work. But it's much less commitment versus a cake that takes me like 3 days, right? So things like that is where I'm trying to explore a little bit more. So cakes is a great piece. It's a huge sell because it's one expensive piece, yet it takes time. But something like this, something even like sugar cookies, other little items like that are something that I want to explore this year to see the interest in that.
Right.
Practicing more things for me, learning new skills for myself as well. But I see those as more revenue generating as well.
Great.
And beyond that, I don't know. I mean, I don't see myself quitting my job anytime soon. I still love my tech job. I'm going to stay in the tech industry for a while. But my sister actually started a cake business.
Right. I wanted to talk about that. Yeah.
Yeah. So hers, I mean, we just spun it off mine. It's NatCakesMyDay.
Awesome. Check that Instagram out too.
Yep.
Equally awesome.
Yeah, so my sister's in Ottawa doing the same thing. She does some cakes here and there as well, but she also does a lot of macarons. We've talked a lot about what we want to do with the business, and we definitely saw ourselves even hosting workshops. I've attended one cake class, and they just taught us how to layer a cake and frost it very basically. And for me, I thought it would be really cool. It was very eye-opening, but at the same time, I felt like I was beyond it because I've had very good practice with it. So I could see myself teaching people this. And I found interest in that because I was helping people around me. So things like that, I was like, hey, like Roxy, you and I could totally just like book out one of those kitchens in Loblaws and like literally host a workshop one day.
That's exactly what I was thinking. The Loblaws kitchens.
Yeah, right. I'm like, I think they do that.
They're everywhere. Yeah.
Awesome. Those, there's a bunch of, like the one I went to was at like a pie shop. They always have like nice like industrial kitchens, like cooking class kitchens.
Right.
You can always book those out and just like host workshops that way.
It'd be nice for you to get out of the apartment as well.
Exactly.
As nice as it is and as much as I loved it.
Yeah.
you probably spend a lot of time there baking these cakes, man.
Yeah, seriously. My whole life is spent in it works. Deep's watching football. I'm doing baking. We got our own alone time, but we're still together. It's
cute.
quality time.
I love that.
But yeah, I feel like workshops and other kind of desserts I want to explore will take it to the next level. But until then, I'm kind of taking it slow, enjoying it as it comes. But it's smooth right now. It's comfortable where I can handle my job and the side stuff while still enjoying it versus not being stressed where I hate it. So keeping that level. Yeah.
That's great. I mean, I'm really enjoying it. I'm happy you're doing this. And I'm very happy of your attitude towards it. It's like, you're very self-aware in that, like, you can't let it completely consume your life, but at the same time, you want to grow in a sustainable way. And I think, like, I don't know, maybe you can correct me if I'm wrong, but a lot of your past experiences, whether it be with Enactus or different jobs and this and that, has kind of taught you to, like, these are things that you've layered on in your experiences to help be able to have that time management, be able to be like, whoa, okay, I'll burn out if I don't.
Yeah. And it's super important. Like I've definitely felt burnout a lot and it sucks. I mean, anyone who's gone through burnout really, it's a lot to take on. And it's just important to really take care of ourselves too. And even if it means taking off social media, we talk about this a lot, you and I, just like having a business on Instagram gets pretty stressful sometimes. I'm sure you feel it where, you feel like you need to post content all the time because people are waiting for shit. And it's like, I don't have time for this. Like, I also want to be off my phone. I also want to have a life. And I don't know, it's tough, but it's still exciting. I don't know. We talk about the good sides of Instagram.
Well, here's the thing. Like, Instagram and beyond, all social media, I really think it's your attitude towards it. And, we get a lot of good from it. There's, like, I know for a fact to get tons of, let's call it virtual claps. Like, oh my God. High five, great job, Nat, loving it. And then the DMs, I'm sure it's a big part of your business is the DMs. But then all just the love and affection from all your friends and family beyond, strangers. Oh my God, I love this. And that excites you. It feels good. It's great. But then I'll find myself sometimes just like, yo, what am I doing? Like, this is just, like, I'm posting, but I don't even, like, there's no, like, real thought behind this. I'm just putting it because it's for the sake of posting. And it's like, ugh, that's gross. I don't want to do that. That's like, I'm just like Gary V seeped in too deep, even though it's not that deep. It's like, I don't know. It's a delicate balance. I think our generation is going to really struggle with it and beyond, but our generation at least saw what life was like before it.
Yeah.
And now what's seeing the effects of it. And like the negative effects are very real. I find myself sometimes like getting anxious and switching between like 4 different apps and like, oh, maybe I should do more LinkedIn, or like, oh, like this TikTok thing I heard, like TikTok's going off, like I should gotta post, gotta do something, gotta like, or you feel like you're falling behind.
Yeah.
Even though that's so far from the truth. Like, who are you measuring against? Like, it should only really be yourself.
Yeah.
But it's hard to keep that in mind when you see these people, because social media for the most part only shows you the best, the highlights, the good. Yeah. You see these people out there who are doing the things that in appearance is like, that should be me.
Yeah.
Like, it's subconsciously your brain's telling you, ooh, I should be doing that. I should be eating that food. Oh, I should be making cakes. Oh, I should be doing this. I should be like, but that's not true. Like, you almost got to stay in your lane. And like, what's really powerful about what you're doing is that you love the process. You were never like, I'm gonna start a cake business because there's money to be made here.
Yeah.
That was like an afterthought. That was like,
totally.
I guess I should charge for this.
Yeah.
Like, you said it yourself, $40 for a cake that took you like so much effort.
Yeah. Oh, totally.
Like
no
a Toronto
clue.
Raptors logo. I don't know if people know. Like, all this is not easy to just. Anyways.
Oh yeah. No, totally. And I mean, jumping on Instagram too, it's being on the cake community, there's like thousands of bakers that I've met on there, and like some bakers have such high followers, right? Like 100Ks, like 20Ks, whatever it may be. And people look at that and they're like, oh my God, I want to be like that too. And like, I look at that and I'm like, do I want to be like that? Like, it
scares me. I don't even want that.
Do I care about followers? And like so many of these bakers too, like always post like, guys, don't message me and be like, how do I get followers? How do I do this? It's not about that. Yeah. Like, if you're doing this for that, you're doing this for the wrong reason.
You're in the wrong game.
Like, I'm here because I'm passionate about cakes. I like making them and I'm sharing them to the world. That's it. If I'm not here, like, let's see how many likes this post gets. Like, I don't care. Like, I'm not doing this for the likes. Yeah. Like, I'm doing this because I want to bring out my creativity. I want to try new designs. I want to share them out. But I've definitely gotten DMs where they're just like, hey, your work's so great. I'll follow you if you follow me. Like, let's support each other. I'm like,
so much of that. I have so many of those in my DMs of fellow podcasters whom I support. I want to support. But it's just like, hey, I'll go on yours if you go on mine. I'm like, what?
No.
What? It doesn't work like that. What are you talking about?
Exactly. It's like, I'll follow you if I see that you're inspiring me, right? And that's how it should be. Like, this is why people would follow you. If you want followers, keep up your work. If you want to inspire people, that's what you're going to do. You can put the effort into your feed, of course. Mm-hmm. But I mean, this is not the reason you should be doing it, right? Like,
I almost think they should just get rid of that number.
Honestly.
I don't even think it fucking matters.
I don't think so either.
Like, likes, it didn't affect my life in any way.
I'm so glad that's gone.
Them removing that.
Yeah.
If anything, like, it made it so much like, I don't know, like, I never, like, obviously, I'm not going to sit here holier than thou and be like, I don't care about likes. Of course, it feels good when a picture gets like 300-400 likes.
Humbling,
it's like, oh, this is pretty cool. People liked this.
Yeah. No, that's it.
But then, like, the counter effect of that, if you post something and it doesn't, that hurts. It's like, oh man, I guess I didn't do well. But then how I rewired that, and like ever since I started the podcast, I never gave a shit about that. Like, it does not matter at all. It doesn't mean anything. There's an algorithm out there that's literally taking your content, categorizing it based on certain things, and showing it to a certain amount of people, because it's not like the Facebook we grew up with. The first Facebook, I remember when Facebook was like, you'd go home and you'd scroll through and you'd see everyone's status updates or a photo. Yeah. Everyone's. Yeah. You'd see everyone's, because it would be in chronological order based on like, but now posting is just so, people post about everything, and you would literally be on your phone all day and you can't be caught up on what everyone you follow or follows you posts. Yeah. So they had to design a way to make it so that you only showed what they think you want to be shown. Right. But that's not.
Yeah, it's true.
That's not it.
I don't know. If I get like, I see, what I notice a lot is when people save my work. Mm-hmm. I've seen that and I'm like, okay, cool. Like, I see people really enjoy this. But if one has less likes than another, it's like, easily could be missed. Maybe I posted at a different time. Maybe it's holiday season, whatever it is. Has nothing to do with our work, your work, my work, whatever. But this is why also we shouldn't care. It's like there's so many factors to why people couldn't have seen this, didn't see this, whatever it is.
Yeah.
But it's tough. Yeah. Like, I mean, this stuff is kind of different when it's like our business, but like selfies, you know, like when people post selfies and they don't get a lot of likes, that's where the problem feeds.
Exactly.
It's
because
like,
now it's like you're making that your value as a person.
Yeah. It's like validating you. Whereas, I don't know, business, I don't know. I post stuff. I don't really care if it gets likes or not.
Yeah.
It is humbling, of course. And people are like, oh, this is really cool. People save it. They like it. That's really cool.
Comments feel a bit more real.
Yeah.
Even that's changing now, though, because now people are hacking that and just commenting just for engagement and different things. It's just like, you could change what it is, but people are always like, psychology stays the same. Like, it's like people are just gonna do what benefits them at the end of the day, even if it's like, oh my god, Nat, love this cake. Like, people are still thinking of it in a selfish way, even though it's a compliment in a weird way, or like, yo, Deepak, love the grind, bro, love the podcast. It's like, all right, here comes 3, 2, 1. Yo, would love to get on sometime. Like, there it is. That's what. But it's kind of dark because, like, you mentioned this, and like you said, like, I don't even want the crazy amount of followers, and I'm starting to feel that way too, because I don't even have like a ridiculous following or anything. I'm like 1,500 people on Instagram, let's say. I like responding to people's genuine nice DMs where people are like, yo, dude, this part was really impactful for me. I listened to it in my car. I'll like stop my day and just be like, bro, what? Like, I just started this thing on a whim like a while ago, like not even like a few months ago, like not even, it hasn't even been a year. And people are like impacted by this. Like, this,
That's huge.
that's nuts. That feels so good to me.
That's what matters.
But then I think, let's say if I even do have like 30K, whatever, all this, would I even be able to respond? Because I'm already having trouble now. It's like, oh, I gotta sometimes just put my phone, turn it off, and just put it away. Like, yo, this is just, like, it's taking over. I'm watching football, but I'm not watching football. You know what I'm saying? So it's weird.
No, it's so true. I don't know. I think people want the followers to feel validated in that way, or it's like, I'm not doing well unless I'm getting like X amount of followers. And it's not that. It's exactly what you just said. It's like when you get those personal messages that are saying that you've made an impact on people, or like when I give cakes and it makes someone's like, on my name, someone's day, makes their event, makes their birthday, that's all that matters to me, right? It's like, that's all I care about. I don't care if I have 50 followers. I think I only have like 750 right now, and to me, I'm like, whatever. I see bakers with so many out there. And to me, I'm not...
That's almost a curse.
Like, I'm not like, guys, come on, I gotta get to 1,000 followers. Like, follow me. I'll do a giveaway for it. Like, whatever it is, I'm here, I'm getting inquiries, and people are happy, and that's all I care about. That's what I'm doing this for.
I love that, Nat. That's great.
Passion project.
It's a great attitude to have. We're gonna see like some weird shit happen in our lifetimes when it comes to social media. I have this prediction that there's gonna be social media detoxes. There's gonna be actual like, and I already see it happening. People being like, no social Sunday.
Oh my God.
I'm seeing it. I'm already starting to see my prediction come true, where it's like people are like going on a hike but leaving my phone at home. It's on their phone, like on their Instagram story, which is hilarious. But it's just like, actually that's not a bad thing. Turn your phone off. Go for a hike. Be alone with your thoughts. Because I think a lot of I'm no mental health expert. I know nothing like about this topic, so take it with a grain of salt. But I just think like being able to be alone with your thoughts and just, how do I really feel about something without someone influencing that thought?
Yeah, it's true.
It's powerful, and like meditating has helped me with that. And I'm not saying I'm some like, I go and like, you know, sit in the middle of a forest with no, I'm a hypocrite a lot, but I try to meditate 10 minutes a day.
That's great.
Most days before bed. I do like about 10 minutes, and it's a muscle. I'm getting better at it, and it really helps do nothing, because there's not enough of that. There's so much expectation from us and from society to just consume,
Yeah.
like you're not enough. Do more.
Yeah.
Post more. This, that, buy more. Like just way too much. And
no,
like
I
if you can't slow that down, yo, how could you not get anxious? How could you not get depressed? And like
Yeah.
I don't know. I haven't fully formulated these things yet, and I struggle with it just as everyone else. But just turn the devices off. Be alone with your thoughts.
Yeah, it's true. We all need a break sometimes. And
Yeah.
it's funny, Kim actually messaged me the other day, and she has a pretty big Instagram too, and
Yeah.
she's very busy on it, doing her business stuff. And she messaged me and she's like, okay, I feel like you can relate because you have a cake page. What do you do? Like, I feel like I need to turn this off. Like, I feel like everyone's counting on me. Like, how do you feel? I was like, honestly, like, I've been sick for a week. I've been off Instagram for a week. I'm not posting. No one cares. You know, like, I think we think people are
huge.
watching us more than we think
Yeah.
that they are. But, like, they're not.
They're
like,
not,
are
no.
people like, oh my God, Madison posted a cake picture in 5 days. Was she okay? Like, is
Yeah.
something wrong? Like, they're literally doing their own thing.
No one
You
gives
know?
a shit.
It's
That's
like when
so
you're at the
powerful.
gym and you worry about, like, okay, someone's going to watch me. I'm nervous. Literally, everyone's doing their own workout. You know? Like, everyone's doing their own shit in life, whatever, job, gym, Instagram. It's like no one's worrying about you. So if you do need to take a step back, like, do it. It doesn't matter.
I think that's one of the unlocks. I really
Huge.
I think that's one of the secrets is like recognizing that no one gives a shit.
Literally. Everyone's worrying about so busy focusing on their own stuff,
Yeah.
you know, like, and that's great. It's great that people are focusing on their own thing, you
Yeah.
know? It's good that they do care when you are posting content, but it's not like, you know, Deepak, you haven't posted a podcast in like a week. Like, are you
Yeah.
something going on here? Like,
Yeah.
it's okay, you know? You're taking a break. Oh, that's fine.
Yeah.
No one's going to be like, dude, you post every Sunday. Like, why not
Yeah.
this week?
Yeah.
You're not allowed to take a break.
Yeah.
Like,
You'd
I'm
be
relying
surprised
on
though.
you.
I've gotten a bunch of that. It's so
Really?
weird. Yeah, it's so
Tell them
weird.
to fuck off.
No,
No.
no. I mean, it's kind of humbling and it's kind of nice actually. It's like, oh shit, like this person was expecting
No,
something.
it's true.
But at the same time, like I'm completely with your point. Like
Yeah.
I tell those people, hey, like
Busy
I was sick this week.
Yeah,
I got sick. I could not produce a podcast. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
There will
yeah.
be one in 2 days. Like you know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like it's like
2 days.
could not make your cake today, but it's coming.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Exactly.
if you can believe it, we're like almost at an hour. Like I
Oh,
think
wow.
we've already almost done an hour. This has been amazing, Nat. Is there anything I kind of like missed in this conversation? Is there anything you kind of really wanted to touch on before we kind of wrap it up?
No, not too much. I mean, I think just in terms of like the learning, the whole cake thing, all I really want to say is that like if people do have a passion project and want to start it, honestly, it's just doing it.
Just started.
There's so many friends of mine who have talked about like different ideas and they're just like, oh, like what do I do? Like I'm like, just start a page.
Yeah.
Instagram's free.
Yeah.
And we know how to use it to the T. We all have Instagram.
Yeah.
So to start like a business page too and just to like put yourself out there, yes, it's super uncomfortable, but like you're doing this for you, right? Like you're not doing this for 1,000 followers. Even if you get 50 followers out of whatever business idea you want to put out there, like if it makes you happy, just do it. And like I've seen a lot more of my friends start businesses on Instagram and just kind of putting themselves out there, free marketing, designing their own feeds and stuff. It's fun. It's really, really fun. It's a nice hobby for us to have. It's a nice side project to do it. It's exciting, right? And it's just something I definitely encourage people to do to kind of get out of their comfort zone, but just not be afraid to do it because again, back to this, like no one is going to judge you for it, you know?
Yeah, exactly. And you're creating.
Yeah, it's cool.
It's
like,
what I think like we all have it in us to do something, to build something.
Yeah.
And like that doesn't have to even include social media.
Yeah,
It
no,
could be a family,
totally.
for God's sake. What if you
Totally.
just want to build a family? Like what if
Yeah.
you just want to like build a normal life or like but build something, start something, do
Yeah.
something. And
Yeah.
don't feel like, and I don't want to sound like some kind of expert because I'm a
Yeah.
complete noob,
Yeah.
but just like whatever it is, just start and don't feel like just because I'm starting this thing, it defines me.
No,
It's the thing I'm
100%.
doing forever.
Exactly.
Because in 2 like months you could be like, you know what, fuck cakes,
Yeah, honestly.
done with it, and that doesn't devalue you as a person
Yeah.
in any way. What if you go on to like, you know what? been really wanting to go to space.
Yeah.
I want to go to Mars.
Yeah.
And like this just becomes your mission. And like, yo, Nat goes to Mars.
Yeah.
New Instagram page. Go follow it now.
Yeah.
But like, you know what I'm saying? Like,
honestly,
that could really like happen. That could be a thing if you put your mind to
honestly.
it. So it's just starting.
Yeah, I
That's
think
really
people maybe
powerful.
are afraid to just jump on and do it, or even like, yeah, think it's gonna fail when that doesn't even matter. Who cares? You're
Yeah.
doing it for fun. If you want to change and it doesn't work out, exactly. If I wanted to change and stop doing cakes all of a sudden, I can easily just do that. I jumped on this like in a whim, you know, no background, no nothing. I just did it for fun. Who knew where it was gonna be? And no
Yeah.
way can I say like I'm a successful business person. I just started a page and I'm selling cakes. I'm no millionaire doing this. I
Well,
don't know
sell
where this is
yourself
going.
short now. I think you're a
I
successful
know.
business person.
I mean, it just something as small as this
Yeah.
is considered, you know, it's
Yeah.
my passion project. I enjoy it.
Yeah.
I'm making money out of it, which is a great side thing.
Yeah.
But the most important thing is, yeah, it makes me happy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what is important. I think just people need to do what makes them happy and not be afraid to do that,
Yeah.
because it is pretty terrifying putting yourself out there. But
It is. And especially in a world where so many people are so lost and it's just like, you have to make money
yeah,
to survive.
yeah,
And you have been fortunate to find a full-time job that you do enjoy.
yeah,
Like that was a very important baseline that you
Yeah.
had to figure out before you could even pursue this.
Yeah.
And that's kind of something that, you know, we didn't really get to speak about as much but it's like the reason you were able to do this cake
yeah,
thing. You know what I'm saying? You talk about it wasn't the ideal situation to do it in your parents' house.
yeah,
So that's something I talked about on previous podcasts as well, as like, I wouldn't have started this podcast if I was in
Yeah.
my parents' basement.
yeah, exactly.
I wouldn't have done it. Like, it would just be like, my mom be shouting at me,
Yeah,
like in the middle of this. I'd be like, Mom, stop.
yeah,
I'm recording with Nat right now. I have to edit this out. Like, you know what I'm saying?
yeah.
So, and I love my parents to death. This is
Of
not me
course.
speaking ill
No,
of them.
no, yeah.
But it's just like you stepping out of your comfort zone and then figuring out when is the right situation for you
Yeah.
to do that. And, you know, even moving out wasn't that for you. It
Yeah.
was like you had to wait and let the pieces fall
Yeah.
and then do what's right. But you made the steps you took the steps to get there.
Yeah,
And that's awesome.
Yeah, and having a good support system is helpful too. I mean, if I just quit my job and just did this, my parents would probably flip. But
Yeah.
I mean, living not at home is helpful to
Right.
that. But even so, like, yeah, having Deep is a huge, huge help. Like, he's
Shout
my
out
biggest
Deep.
supporter. I have to give him a shout out because,
Yeah.
you know. But yeah, no, of course, like, cakes are not easy.
Yeah.
They're messy. It's loud. I make a huge mess in the kitchen while he's watching football over there.
Yeah.
So yeah, honestly, to have such a good support system like him, just to help me like gather stuff, help me clean, help me do deliveries, help me sell, even like a lot of his coworkers are also my huge like big customers of mine too. Huge help, and like honestly, I can't do it without him because it's a lot. Like I said, I've had lots of breakdowns, and it's like having someone to really be there for me and like walk me through, talk business ideas has been huge. So yeah, definitely shout out to him.
Yeah.
Any support is always great.
Love that. I think one
Yeah.
of the biggest themes to take away from all of this is it's not whatever you are doing is not you. It's not your identity as a person.
Yeah, 100%.
Like separate yourself from that and just go try shit. We're all
Yeah.
young. Fuck it. Just
It's
try
like a
things.
hobby. Yeah.
Love it. Let's wrap this up. I have to do the lightning round with you before we go.
Okay.
I had a lot of fun on this podcast.
Yes,
You're the
me
best. I think this is
too.
one of my best podcasts
Oh my
yet, if
God,
I'm being
stop.
honest. Like, you're the best. Okay, let's do this lightning round. First question. Any advice you would give to 17-year-old you?
Oh my gosh, what was I doing when I was 17? What were we in at 17? Graduating?
Yeah, like senior.
11? Grade
Senior
11?
year, yeah, like grade 11.
Oh my gosh. Study harder in math, not that it really mattered. I guess even then not taking life too seriously, because I feel like school was a big pain point in my life and I was like struggling through certain classes.
Yeah.
But otherwise, no, don't take life too seriously in high school, because high school is nothing compared to university and beyond. So
Yeah. Love it. What's your favorite cake you've baked so far?
Oh my gosh. You pointed it out. I think it has to be the shoe cake, because it's like this. It's like a size 11 kid shoe cake. It's cute.
It's so gangster.
I wanted to bite that thing, but I couldn't. I was like, can you guys just bite it when you get it?
Do you ever make extra just for yourself, even though you're not a cake person? Like just Like, oh, you know what? This is just, I need to have some
Oh
of
man,
this.
I taste test when I have cake crumbs, but obviously when I'm building, like I can't take a bite of that cake. It ruins it, right? So, I wish, but yeah, definitely the shoe cake, I would say.
Favorite restaurant in Vancouver?
Ooh,
This is going to be hard for you because I know you're
so many
a
good
low-key
ones.
foodie.
I'm gonna say Phnom Penh. Always that Cambodian spot. If anyone's in Vancouver, you must go there. Everyone recommends it from Vancouver.
It's so
Best
good.
spot.
There's like a lineup outside.
Every single time.
But they do a pretty good job of like, you sit here.
Yeah.
You double
Very
up.
quick.
2 of you,
Yeah.
you're sitting with strangers. Doesn't
Yeah.
matter. Sit, eat, enjoy.
100%.
Like, okay.
Yeah, Cambodian Vietnamese represent. Very proud of that one.
Love it. So everyone likes to ask, like, what's your biggest goal for 2020? But I'm gonna actually ask you something else.
Okay.
What is something you're letting go of in 2020?
I think it goes back to the challenge that we talked about a bit, just kind of saying no where I need to. Over the holidays, I was like very, very busy and like really worked. And now I know just like if I need to say no to certain things, I'm saying no. If I'm not going to commit to certain things, I'm not going to do it. I'm just really focusing on making sure my mental health and my self-care is good.
It's so important.
Because, yeah, if I can't be at my best, I just can't do shit. So
I don't know where we picked up this idea that you have to say yes to everything, because I'm guilty of this too. I'm just like, be there. I'll be there. Yes, yes. And then that dreaded day comes when you're just like,
I hate it. I'm not going to do it.
Why did I say yes to this?
No.
Do I have to send that text?
I will lie if I have to. But, I think I'm going to be better at not lying. I'm just going to be like, you know what? I can't come. I got to stop being a people pleaser.
100%. That's great. Side question to sub question kind of. Are you still using that 1 second photo app that you use? Yeah.
Yes.
That's
have
a
you
great
tried
one.
it?
I did not.
Oh
I'm
my
like, there's
gosh.
just too many things
Oh
to do.
my gosh. Yeah.
But yeah, tell people about it real quick because I do think it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So this 1 second app, it's actually literally just called 1 second app. There's multiple there actually as well. But you just take a 1 second recording of your day every single day. And then you compile it. And then once you mash it up, it shows 1 second every single day for X long that you did.
Yeah.
I did it since July up until now even. And I shared everything from July to December.
Have you missed a day?
No.
Wow.
No. And some days I'll be like, oh crap, I missed. And it shows the days of you taking videos or pictures. So maybe I'll throw in a picture, or I'll throw in I took a Snapchat that day, I can throw it in.
Sweet.
Or I'll put a day or two a late or whatever. But even if I miss a day, it's whatever. But
it's the
cool.
principle of it. Yeah. No, I found it really cool. It was just like, too many things to already remember, but that's cool.
Even if you're lazy, I put me in bed. I'm like, lazy Sunday, lazy day, which is a lot and a lot of baking, but it's cool to look back and see what you do.
Love it. Yeah. Final question. Would you make your own wedding cake one day?
Oh, 100%. I am not paying anyone to make a wedding cake. At this point, I've become so pro that I know every one of my cousins, deep cousins, everyone's going to get engaged and married soon.
Yeah.
Everyone's going to ask me for a wedding cake, and that is my wedding gift to you.
Oh, that's
I'm going to save you
awesome.
bucks, and I'm saving myself some money too. So
that's awesome.
Yeah, I'm excited to do that.
That's amazing. Nat, this has been an amazing podcast. Thank you so much for coming on.
Of course.
Shout out all your socials, where people can find you, and
Yeah, well, it's just the one. Instagram, NatCakesMyDay. Facebook is the same thing, NatCakesMyDay. And that's it for the business. Personal, you don't need to follow me on there because I'm private anyway.
Love it.
Awesome. Thank you for having me. This is a lot of fun.
Thanks for coming on.
I need you to eat one on camera.
Oh, my God.
Eat one.
Okay.
Okay, get them to eat one too.
All right,
They've
guys,
been sitting here so
guys,
patiently. Okay, check the...
I've never had one in my life.
Okay, so, yeah,
They just look like
good.
burgers to me. Flavored little burgers.
Okay, which one did you grab? Okay, so that is a dark chocolate raspberry.
Okay. Fahana, get in here.
Let's see.
There
This
you go.
one is Earl Grey.
Okay, get in the shot, guys.
Okay, Sharma, get yours.
Okay.
Yours is a dark chocolate. I've had so many of these. I'm saving these for you. There's a
No,
lemon
have
one in here as
have
well.
have one.
Okay, fuck.
Yo, Nat Cakes My Day. Love it.
Cheers.
This is awesome. Cheers, guys.
Cheers.
Oh. That's not what
Oh
I
my
was
God.
expecting. This is amazing.
You hear that crunch?
Oh my, I didn't think it'd be soft inside.
Mm-hmm. It's crunchy and then soft on the inside. You can hear the crunch on the microphone. It's ASMR.
This is me venturing into new territories.
Mm-hmm.
This is hype.
It's like the perfect blend between soft
Right?
and crunchy.
Not too sweet. It's a
Yeah.
nice little delicate cloud in your mouth.
The perfect snack.
So good.
Really? Oh my god.
She's obsessed with macaroni.
Oh my god. Deepak, give her the whole box.
It's yours.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you so much. That was incredible.
You.
And just remember, guys, it's not that deep. Thanks for listening to another episode of the It's Not That Deep podcast. For access to exclusive articles and content, please head over to www.itsnotthatdeeppodcast.com. And to help me grow this thing to the next level, here's what I need you to do. Go ahead and subscribe to my podcast on all platforms, wherever you listen, and share with all your friends and family on all social media. And please leave a rating as well. Remember, it's not that deep.